Tell me, how do you handle with the kind of criticism that comes in the film that you do, which sort of happened with Love Aaj Kal. Of course, it was an Imtiaz Ali film. It got all the buzz that it wanted to. But of course, that probably the expectations with that film was so much, and all of that with Karthik, Sara, you. How do you take that, and how do you look at what came your way?
I look at it in a way that we tried our best. I did my best, and I actually was fortunate enough to not face much criticism. I was appreciated a lot, and that also is because of the film and because of the director. So you cannot take one part of the film out, and it's a teamwork. So I worked for this team, and I think we did. Imtiaz did the best he could with what he had, and it is a story which thematically spoke to me very well. And I think what he told me he was trying to make, he made. Rest is never in the hands of the artists involved, whether it is a director. Um, there's a lot more other factors, but I still believe in the film, and I still believe in Imtiaz. In spite of all the criticism, I have no issues. I'll work with him again in a jiffy. I really like him as a director.
Yeah, and on that note, we were talking about the action part of it. You got to do some really cool action stunts recently, and that too with Chris Hemsworth, and you had this whole it's like a whole Hollywood crew involved, and there were amazing actors in it. Tell me, how was that?
I,
And
I
yeah,
was I was very fortunate enough to get this part. I was auditioned for this part, and then they called for my movies and went through that. And I am very grateful that they liked it to cast me in this role. Uh, when I first day I saw what they were planning to do, just they ran it through for me. I was like, shit, फंस गए यार ये कहाँ पे आ गए. Then they broke it down and they worked with it, from basics of movement and action
yeah,
and training to going to where it was. First, they trained me alone and Chris alone, and then they brought us together for hours on end, for days. And because it had to have that energy, it had to have that realism and pace to it. So yeah, so then once we came together, we kind of sweated and bled over each other for a few days, and then we captured that scene, which was very quick. Um, so it is a lot to do with the director, who himself is a big he was an action double. Then he became an action coordinator. Then he was a second unit director on Avengers Endgame. So all that experience and all the preparation which we did, they did for 4 to 6 months prior to shooting, is the
yeah.
result that there is there to see. And it kind of changed my mind about action because of the realism involved in it. I would love to do it again and again. I I don't mind just being an action star from now on. I've done
Yeah.
enough. I've done enough drama.
Tiger, you better watch out.
Oh
And
no,
Akshay.
they do a different kind of action. That's not
Yeah.
my scene.
No, I know what you mean. But tell me now, when you go back to the kind of action, the louder, the loud, with 20 men flying action, back to that set. Um, you know, i- is it consciously you're always going to remember the training that you got for this one? Is that going to obviously come in to be handy, or how are you going to compare that?
At the beginning of my career, I think my third film was a movie called Risk, which was on the life of Daya Nayak
Correct.
and all the trouble that he was having at that time. And I spent a hell of a lot of time with him, like months on end with him in his police station, talking about meeting other cops and all that. So that movie kind of gave me all the basic training I needed to play a cop in any damn movie henceforth. So similarly, maybe this movie has given me the action training that I can probably do in any Bollywood film, hands down. But yeah, anything you do, it's got a different flavor, it's got a different choreography, different beats.
Yeah.
So I have to again work hard and live up to this. Uh, I don't know how I'll manage that, but hopefully.
And I think it was pretty cool to see, and you and Chris Hemsworth together. I think global representation is so important, and Indian actors doing that for us is fabulous. How was that experience? Tell us about that.
Oh, it was a great experience working with Chris. He's a big Aussie, and I've lived in Australia for a long time. Also, he's one of the top most Hollywood stars, but that's not his vibe. He's very chilled out, cool, very childlike, very funny and witty, and very tough and hardworking. He was there working harder than anybody else, whereas he could have just taken, sat back a little. He's already got it. But he worked very hard, and his work ethics were absolutely great. I've seen him in other movies, and he's a very good actor, apart from being a very good looking man and being a Hollywood star. But on the set, I think the energy is driven by the lead actor, and the energy driven on this set was about 200% because that's what he brings to the set.
And then, of course, you have the other big action film, Radhe, which I'm sure will have action in it as well. It'll be an action drama, I'm assuming. Tell us about that, and of course, working with Salman again. It's you have that
I don't know
chemistry and
how
rapport
much
with him.
I don't know how much I can talk about Radhe because I have not been briefed as to what to talk about Radhe. But
Okay.
yes, I'm playing the antagonist for the first time after 20 years, giving it a shot. Salman was very keen on me doing this part. Prabhudeva is one of the most simple, sweetheart people I've met. And in sign language, we've been churning out some great work, I think. Let's wait and see. But it's been really
That's so
special.
true.
It's my third movie with Salman, and we get along well. And let's see how it turns out.
The industry, everything had to come to a standstill because of the quarantine period. There were a lot of other films that were happening. There are a lot of production houses that had to stop their work. What was there in your pipeline that had to right now sort of be in that same space, which had to be stopped? And what is happening there? And
There is
how
a
important for them?
uh,
Yeah.
well, Radhe was going to release on Eid, which is not releasing, which I had finished shooting for, but I guess the theaters are not going to open. So that would be the first kind of a setback in my life, so to speak. The other one, I was shooting a very beautiful comedy slice of life film with Ileana de Cruz, directed by Balvinder, who's been a writer to many great films. And then subsequently, I've got other movies. I've got another movie called Rat on the Highway, which we shot in Scotland a while back. So that's post productions going on. So all these movies combined together is my personal thing. I don't know when they will open these cinemas, but definitely they'll have to offload some on the OTT platforms.
Yeah.
Such a big, backlog where we have many releases a week is going to be something very hard to deal with. And the only solution is for people, for the industry to come together and deal with it together rather than, doing it individually.
Watch E-Town News Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. only on Zoom.